Did you hear that Donald Trump, after being booed... Oh, gosh, can't see my glasses again. After being booed at the Club World Cup, where Chelsea won. Mishandling the trophy. It looked like Olympic rings or something like that, whatever that was, I don't know. It was probably plastic. They made it look really heavy, but it clearly wasn't. But you see, he's feckin' well stole the trophy. Yeah, Trump has stole the feckin' trophy. I kid you not. The club ain't gonna get the trophy. Donald Trump has decided he's gonna steal the feckin' trophy. What the hell? So, okay. So Trump has literally decided to hold on to the trophy, and it's going to stand proud of place in the Oval Office. I kid you not. I would have thought normally the club would have the trophy. They put in maybe their trophy cabinet or whatever they've got on display for people visiting the club. But no. They're going to get a fake trophy. A crackerjack trophy. They're not getting the trophy. Donald Trump is. No wonder he wouldn't fag off when they want to get their picture taken with the trophy. He just stood there. Hey, look at me. That was great. Oh dear. Yeah, Donny pocketed a medal as he left the state. Oh my giddy aunt. I didn't know that one. Did he pocket the medal as well, did he? What an arsehole. Literally. What a fucking chocolate starfish that man is. Stealing their fucking trophy. I just find it absolutely ridiculous. It's a bloody trophy. It doesn't really mean that much to him. Does he have to have everything? Does he? Absolutely everything. He wants your blood and tears. He wants your soul. He wants your money. And now he wants their trophy. Stole their trophy. It's exactly what he's done. Cat's eye moves. Hope you're well. And Joe, hello, my friend. Hello, all. I will be in the background. Oh, thanks, my friend. Hope you're doing well. It looks like in Portugal at the moment. It's a bit overcast here today, which I'm quite glad of, actually. It ain't quite as hot. It's muggy, but not quite as hot. But, you know. Have you heard? Donald Trump stole their trophy. I just find it all... Oh, my giddy aunt. It gets from bad to bad. That he does. Oh, my giddy aunt. Yes, it's true. Trump says the Club World Cup trophy will remain in the Oval Office. And it will, yeah. And they get a fake one. They get a copy. They did the bloody work. Yeah, so Donald Trump has claimed that the Club World Cup trophy that has featured prominently in the Oval Office will stay there. And that FIFA made a copy of the trophy that was awarded to Chelsea after their win in the tournament's final on Sunday. Trump attended the final along with numerous members of the cabinet and FIFA's president, Gianni Infantino. The pair of presidents jointly presented the trophy. Yeah, they made it look really heavy, didn't they? I thought they were going to fall over. It was so heavy. But no, then the players got hold of it and they were running around, jumping around with it and all sorts, you know. He's fucking decrepit. He needs a Zimmer. That's what he needs. Does old Donny. So Trump staying front and centre, he did, despite... well, there was a confusion there, because apparently he was supposed to walk off with the FIFA geezer. Yeah, FIFA president. Gianni. Oh, dear. No, I'm staying here. This looks like fun. I'm going to have my picture taken with the footballers. Yeah, he goes. Yeah. Oh, my God, that man is just... He just fell. He's just foul. Well, the incident is just the latest in a long series of intersections between the US president and the world of FIFA, which began in the earnest this year, soon after Trump started his second term in office. Infantino unveiled the Club World Cup trophy for the first time. That was at the Oval Office, if you remember that. But anyway, Donald Trump stole the trophy. Oh dear. What have I missed? What have I missed? Afternoon to you all. Hello, Loki's children. Trump steals everything like a spoilt brat. That's exactly what he stole. Basically, his brother's inheritance as well, didn't he? He steals everything, absolutely everything. Steals his brother's inheritance. Steals his nephew's son's trust fund. Yeah, the boy who's disabled, or young man now who's disabled. Well, that was before he had basically said. Well, he actually said, "Oh, well, can't he just die and then you can move up there in Florida and have a good life?" What? That's Donald Trump for you. That's what he does. It's like all them lot, isn't it? They say they're pro-life, don't they? And yet they hail from the rooftops. Oh, alligator Alcatraz, or Auschwitz concentration camp. Alligator Auschwitz. Well, they're happy, aren't they, to see these people suffer? And now you got a list of around 700 to 900 odd people now at Alligator Auschwitz. Yeah, not provided by ICE or the DOJ. Got my eyes are sore today. Or by the Home Security. No, it's been compiled by the Miami Herald. And they've been working on a list of people who are stuck in Alligator Alcatraz. So the families know where these people are. Not Homeland Security, they ain't fucking doing anything. They're bloody useless bunch. And they don't care. A bunch of Trumpopaths, that's what they are. Evil bastards. They're just evil, let's be honest about it. But you see, there's still more of you than there is of them. That there is. Well, it's time to stand up to it, really. To be fair, if you know ICE is going to be there, you could just swarm them. There's nothing they can do. You could literally just swarm them. Just the masses of you. There's just so many people now. Now, Trump is going on about because at this farm, the Glasshouse farm, the owner of that farm, I didn't realise this, but it's not surprising, is a Trump supporter. And now she's complaining. She's a bloody Trump supporter of the Glasshouse farm, where that poor bloke died. He fell off that roof, trying to get away from them. But over 100 people were apprehended at that farm over last week. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It is. But no one cares about him because he's he's a migrant. He's an immigrant, undocumented possibly, or documented. I don't know. Either way, he's been working there for about 10 years. But he's dead now. He's perished. Fell off the roof. Now, his family in Mexico are mourning him at the moment. These are people, ordinary people, just trying to get by. Yeah, okay, you could argue that they come over illegally, doing this and doing that, stealing our jobs and our women. Whatever you say about that side of things, whether it's right or whether it's wrong or whatever, they're still human beings. They haven't set out to hurt anyone. They're not criminals in Donald Trump's mind, as in, I don't know, fentanyl and God knows what else, drug traffickers and members of cartels that they keep going on about. No, in most cases, it's just family men and women and their kids. Just trying to get by, just trying to survive. But what if the shoe was on the other foot, eh? What if we had a similar situation? Let's say, for instance, I'm a British citizen. I'm living in France, but let's say I'm still in the UK. And then the UK has a little tiny island got invaded and I want to get out. It could happen. Maybe Russia or someone, I would hope that there was somewhere for me to go. And if I had kids in tow, I would hope that there would be myself and my children be treated with some decency, some humanity. You see, a lot of these people are living they're persecuted. There's a video clip of one young man I saw who'd been deported. He'd lived in Miami for Los Angeles for over 30 odd years, and he got deported recently to I think that's Cuba or something like that. Hadn't done anything wrong. He did have a drug offence several years ago. He wasn't supplying or anything like that. He's just, carrying or whatever. People do stupid things when they're young. I've done stupid things when I'm young. I'm stolen anything like that, but I've done bloody stupid stuff. I have. If you need to survive, you need to find a means to feed yourself, or maybe you've got kids, like I say. Well, essentially, you might do something illegal, dangerous, because you're desperate. Don't mean to say you're going to hurt anybody, but you might be desperate. It's a sad old world when we can't help each other, isn't it? Hello, Marco. See, happy well. Doing stupid stuff and surviving. You learn, exactly. And that's how you stop being stupid. Well said. Well said. It's exactly right, isn't it? You'd learn. A man who's never made a mistake has never made anything at all. We live and learn by our mistakes. You're 100% right. It's just... We all have different life choices, obviously. Sometimes it's not even really a choice. But, different options might... we might take a wrong turn somewhere. Or maybe there's something, or we might learn something because we go on a tangent. But if you're not moving, you're not going to learn anything at all. So you need to go somewhere. So we all think of these prophets, whatever, like Socrates, for instance. Socrates, he was a renowned wrestler of all things. Socrates, you think of him to be a prophet, as a brain, but he was a fucking wrestler. It's about being open-minded to stuff, isn't it? You need to. If you're going to absorb information, and also have empathy as well, you have to be open-minded. Whether it be LGBTQ, whether it be trans, whether it be gay, or whatever, you need to be open-minded to other people's trials and tribulations. And I've had times in my life where, I didn't know really what direction I'm going to be going in, and I think, crikey, where do we go from now? Maybe get a little bit depressed, but you've got to keep moving. You've got to focus on something, you've got to keep moving. You might not reach that destination, but you might go on a tangent and reach a different destination. Might be equally as good or just different. At least you've started the process by moving in the first place. You have to keep on. Well, you have to keep moving. So when you're a kid, you have these ideas. I want to be an astronaut. That's what you do. Okay, that might be a little bit ridiculous, but yeah, you try, yeah, do everything you need to do, get through college and stuff like that, or whatever you have to do to get that. Trying to be an astronaut. Well, the likelihood of being an astronaut is pretty darn slim, but you might be something else because you've learned all this other stuff, you know. And like, for instance, I did my degree in photography. I didn't do that degree through that I wanted to be a photographer. I've always done photography, but I did that degree because it's something I loved, and I still do. I love the arts, And but what it did is it opened my mind. You think about things differently because all this. It's like in the UK at the moment. So what they go on about? You shouldn't be go to college. You're not going to do that kind of work. Or you're not going to do that. Or you come out of college, it was wasted because you're not. No, you've trained your mind. You trained your brain. Something that Donald Trump hasn't done. Or Nigel Farage. You open your mind because you think and you look at things differently. You become more of a lateral thinker. You look at the nuances. You look at how things are affected. You make a decision and you think, okay, something over there might be affected by this decision. It's an understanding about stuff in general. And looking at things differently, opening your mind to stuff. Well, for me, it would be the arts and stuff like that. When you're looking at Vermeer and what have you, you start analysing brushstrokes and the way the light is coming through the window and all that sort of stuff. And even down there, Monk and what have you, the Scream, and you see that's an amazing painting, but it's just a series of brushstrokes and it's torment and it's brilliant. It opens your mind. That's why college and universities and stuff is important because the way you're taught in the university is about learning how to teach yourself effectively. You have your mentors and stuff, but you've effectively been taught so you can learn on your own. You can do your research and you know where to look and how to analyze stuff and how to make your notes, how to do all your bullet points, how to reference stuff. All the quotes, having quotations. Yeah, exactly. Higher education teaches you how to learn and how to research things, says Jen Stendo. 100% right. And that's the problem. It's all this thing where people are so narrow-minded, thinking that, oh no, I'm going to do a history degree and say, okay, I'm now going to be a history teacher. That's narrow-minded. You just got a knowledge base. You just opened your mind. Now, my son, this is quite unusual, all right? My son done a history degree, and he works as a historian. So he actually went that route. So he works in the museum service in Norfolk. He does, and he's near the top now. He's worked his way up. He's done very, very well, So he does, but he might have done something different. But with his knowledge base. He's a very well-read chap, he is, and with his knowledge base, he can open up into other things as well, I'm just a mere woodworker. I work with my hands, all right. My best asset is my hands and my skills that I've accrued over a period of time. There's also a certain amount of knowledge, obviously, comes with that as well. But I hope I can analyse and I can work out for myself what is right and what's wrong. All right, generally speaking, I think it's quite simple, really. If you're going to do something that doesn't hurt anybody, and in fact, if it actually does something positive for somebody, I think it's pretty darn good. I don't need to analyse that too much. No, on the other hand, if I'm setting out a build and we use Pythagoras theorem and stuff like that, you need to know all this shit. All the stuff you said when you're at school, I'm never going to use that, including blinking the algebra. You're never going to use that. In the building game, you can end up using it. I know I do. Although there's all calculators, all sorts of stuff for that now, but make life easier. But when you're setting out, it's not unusual to use Pythagoras. So, hello, Chrome Dome. I hope you're well. Oh, I dropped out of college when my side job became more important, but being able to learn brought my career forwards, you see. There you go. You're proving the point, aren't you? You are. It opens your mind, and that's a lot of the problem with these people these days. I say these people, I'm talking people like MAGA type people. They're very blinkered. Like all they see is what's directly in front of them. That's all they see. Same with reform voters. All they see is the migrants coming in their little boats. And they directly associate that with a lack of services, whether it be school places or whether it be hospital places and stuff like that. Yeah, they can't seem to work out in their heads that you need those people to actually work in those places to provide the spaces in the hospitals, etc., etc. And the same with these MAGA people, it's mind-numbing, it is. No one seems to, very few people look at the whole picture. Look at the whole picture. During my masters, I got to write papers on Nintendo Wii, really, and the first woman to tell Steve Jobs no. I wrote my my IP management paper on a copyright fight with. I did a lot about copyright, what have you, intellectual property. That was an eye-opener, that was. Photos of monkeys. What? Oh, good job. Nice hair, Chrome. I'm glad you're doing all right. Know thyself, do as thy will, harm none, help many. What's wrong with that? Is that woke? Oh, dear, so terrible, it's woke. Well, if that's woke, then I'm woke. Because that's the way I want to live my life. It's good to help other people. That's like when you, for instance, you do these live streams and stuff, or making videos, and some people enjoy it, some people don't. Some people get something out of it, some people don't. But you hope there's something positive going to come from it, don't you? You do. It can't always be about the attack. It can't be. Otherwise, we're just all. You get too depressing. To be fair, I do wonder though if Donald Trump has a handler. I really do. Anyway, going back to older Donny. Now, he has said that. They're sending 17 Patriot missile systems to Ukraine. Like, obviously, I can agree with that. That's and he's going to tariff Russia 50% in 50 days or whatever it's going to be, or 100% or whatever it is. Well, what's the point of that? The US don't do any real trade. Russia's a tiny amount of trade they do with Russia still. Tiny. Obviously because of everything that's gone on. Also cruise missiles as well, long-range missile systems that could reach Moscow are being sent to Ukraine. Some people say it's not a good idea, but I think you're hitting with everything you can at the moment. Something's got to make them stop. So that is obviously a good thing, but let's be honest about it. It's all a bloody distraction, isn't it? It's just a flippin' distraction. And so we look and start talking about Ukraine, which I'm glad to talk about Ukraine because we need to, because it quite often takes the back burner. But it's a way to take our eyes off the ball regarding Epstein. Now, Alan Dershowitz, whatever his name is, the guy used to be Donald Trump's attorney. I think he's also involved, even though he said, I know he was there, I know he's on the list and all that sort of stuff. I bet he was bloody involved. He was Trump's attorney for several years, he was. Anyway, he's calling out, he reckons that Ghislaine Maxwell should be freed, she should. Right. He says that she's been used as a scapegoat, he said. Really? Well, you can imagine what would happen. Let's say, for instance, Donald Trump did decide to give Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon, and then she gets freed. Can you imagine the amount of bits of paper she's going to have to sign so she doesn't disclose anything? And then she'll probably disappear somewhere. She ain't going to be living in Florida again, is she? In that house in Florida? I very much doubt it. Besides, we could imagine, everyone will know that she's, a sex offender, someone who groomed these young ladies. Is Donald Trump. Trump and all his little lackeys. They must be very concerned. On the list, on the imaginary list, there are a lot of names on there that would, it would shake the establishment. It would shake the establishment to the core. Wait, did I tell you? Donald Trump, he stole the trophy. Hey, why did you beat the like button? Stole the fucking trophy. He's keeping the trophy for the Club World Cup Chelsea one. It's their trophy, and he's keeping it at the White House, in the Oval Office. I know. I'll keep repeating that, by the way. You know that, don't you? I just, what a piss take! What an absolute piss take! Well, there is some worries at the moment in the US, not about the trophy, but about food shortages. Now, we all know about the egg shortages and what have you, and you got eggs coming from Turkey and various other places. They even had to cheat down Norway, and Norway told them to bugger off. There's a lot of miles on these eggs, a lot of miles. A lot of it's down to, it's not really anything to do with Donald Trump. It's nothing to do with Biden either, It's just a state of play, bird flu and all that, There's just, but where it is Trump's responsibility is to make sure all the stuff is documented so we can actually track where the bird flu is. But no, none of that now. So you might be eating eggs that have bird flu. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah. Is it your favourite? Oh, I bet it is. Well, I've been crawling around. I didn't bother to get changed underneath my camper. It's all ready for CT tomorrow. So I didn't realise I didn't have a fog light on the back. As now. So I had to quickly go and get one. I know why. What happened is because I changed lights for LEDs, you see, and there's no fog lights in them because they're not the dual bulbs. So, yeah. Now, the thing about this food, regarding shortages of food, it's not just eggs, it's pretty much everything. And not just stuff being imported, but stuff actually grown in the United States. Like, for instance, that, argument's sake, that marijuana farm. I can eat that, but, unless you put it in a cake or something. A lot of these farms, what have you, they're short people, aren't they? Because of ice raids, the farm hands they're not going to work. They're staying out of the way now because they're getting raided. And this is a massive problem to keep for these farms who voted for Donald Trump, voted for this, voted probably on the basis of immigration, yet they are the ones hiring the people. It's like, oh, you don't mean me, do you? You don't mean me. No, not me. No, not my farm. You see, because I voted Trump, it ain't going to be my farm. It's going to be all the other ones. And okay. Well, they can't farm or harvest the food stuff, but then there's the restrictions on imports of inputs. Basically, everything you put into a farm, they call it the inputs. So it'd be like the fertilizers, the seeds, anything like that. That is required, and also tractor parts, etc. There's a massive shortage of food and also fertilizers. And when you're doing intensive farming and you want a good, clean crop, you need fertilizers. Everything is growing at the same rate. Otherwise, you end up with such a mixed bag of crops. Some things are big, some things are small. There's no uniformity there, so it makes it very hard to grade. And also makes the harvesting a lot harder as well, because things like cabbages and stuff like that, they might not all crop at the same time. Now, potash, for instance, from Canada, they are one of the world's major suppliers of potash, which is used in fertilizer. Also nitrogen, phosphorus is just all these potassium, all these ingredients, majority of them are imported, and they will be hit with tariffs, which will encourage these importers to say, okay, we'll find new markets. Not because they're the ones paying it, because they're not. It'll be the importers paying it. But it'll be because the cost of everything will reduce demand. It'll reduce demand. Because we buy on price. Even with inputs and stuff like that, some farms will say, well, we can't do that this year. Or they'll do a different crop, which doesn't require it. You know. It's like some crops, like for instance, maize. Maize is one of them crops that don't need a lot of water. You know, so it's quite good. It's very drought resistant. So if you've got that, you know, but then you just end up with, if everyone's farming, you know, maize, you're going to have a bit of an issue. Then you're going to have the market being flooded with maize, and that brings down the price of maize, and then they can't make the money on it. So they have to grow other stuff. They have to. They can't. And also, you've obviously got you know, if you can like hay and stuff like that, you see, you can crop that 2 or 3 times in silage as well off the same field. But some crops, you know, it might take 9 months to grow, so you can do it once. So you got to think, you know, short crops like, for instance, radishes and stuff like that. You can crop them several times in a year. Oh, Rage Against the Machine! Yes, brilliant band. Peanuts are legumes. Yeah, they're in the ground. What's up with the allergens? And what's up? Oh, Monsanto. Monsanto. Well, Monsanto, they produce a lot of herbicides and pesticides, such herbicide. They've Roundup. It's Monsanto. It's not, apparently it's not the glyphosate itself that is the real toxin for people. It's there's an additive, there's something that they put in it to speed it up, to speed the process up, and that is apparently cause cancers and, you know, stuff like that. So they say. Some research is saying the opposite now. Now I've used loads of this stuff. I've got my PA6 spraying certificate. And I've used loads and loads and loads of glyphosate, mainly spot weed killing and stuff like that. And also there's another one called Grazon 90, which that's from Bayer. That's not from Monsanto. Which is a brilliant brushwood killer. Within a day, that stuff just knocks them back and kills the roots just like that. Brilliant stuff. It's expensive. It's about last I bought it was about £70-80 per litre. Don't use any weed killers and stuff like that anymore anyway, but cause I'm doing organic stuff here, but years ago we used to. It was the norm, you know. We used to do a lot of churchyard stuff and maintain churchyards, my company did, and it's like that's the stuff we would use to keep the brambles in check. Hello, scapegoat. Is it a scapegoat or is it scapegoat? Don't forget to beat the like button. I want to do what they tell me. Hoof-hearted, exactly. Oh my god, we've got to live what's going on. Exactly. I started following a truck driver in the United States, and he noticed that many trucks were parked up, i.e. not moving. And yesterday he said that supply chains are failing, and that this occurred on Donny's first T, or you mean tariff? Or first... you think the word potash came from burnt wood? Interesting, I didn't know. Oh, term, thank you. Oh, that's from his first term, I get you now. Yay. Thanks for that. Karen, again, my heart aches for the truckers and the port workers, a standstill and layoffs. Now, we in the UK, in my heart, I'm not, no, because a lot of truckers were voting for Brexit because they didn't like the European drivers coming over here, taking the jobs and my women. Yeah, So they voted for the Brexit in the UK, and their wages did actually go up as a result because there's a massive shortage of drivers. Because a lot of the drivers from the EU were no longer coming over because of how long it took at the border with all the red tape, and they were stuck there. Well, they could have done another delivery somewhere, you see, so they stopped coming. A lot of the European drivers are still very hesitant to come to the UK, and that did push up the rates of pay for the truck drivers. The only thing is there's less business altogether, so... Pot works like Mary Jane, the devil's lettuce, and green beans weed. God, I've never tried it. Hello, Mud. Hope you well. Afternoon to you as well. Chris Berry. Who have I missed? Bonjour. There we come. Just making sure I don't miss too much. Thanks, Joel, for doing that, mate. Joel's looking after the chat, making sure it's all sensible, to say the least. Don't forget to hit the whole like button. I'll keep saying it. I'm going to keep reminding myself as well to say it. But see, there's a lot been going on. There's always lots going on, it seems, at the moment. And it's escalating. I actually think there's a possibility that if this doesn't end regarding Epstein, I think it could be the end of Trump. I'm hoping, because the MAGA are they're digging their heels in, they really are digging their heels in. And it's good to see that it is, you know. And it's not just that, it's, you see, all these people of Israel and that, you know, they're happy to, see the genocide and that, you know. But when you get people like Chris Tucker,
what the hell
Tucker Carlson, sorry,
Israeli Prime Minister living in your house? The real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. It's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that. Criticizing the behavior of a government agency does not make you a hater. It makes you a free person. It makes you a citizen. You're allowed to do that because you're not a slave. You're a citizen. And you have a right to expect that your government will not act against your interests, and you have a right to demand that foreign governments not be allowed to act against your interest. What the hell is this? You have the former Israeli Prime Minister living in your house.
Is this damage limitation by these people? Are they smelling the shit now? Covering their own asses? Because if you ask me, considering what he's done in the past with people like Ted Cruz, for instance, going on about Israel, and Ted Cruz going on, saying about it, if you don't support Israel, you're going to go to hell and stuff like that, you know. I think a lot of these people are doing damage limitations because they know that maybe they know something we don't know for a start, but they want to protect their careers. Like Dan Bongino, whatever his name is, you know, he's always been one to release the files. Release the files, he used to say, or words to that effect. And now he's sort of like, well, he's not now, but for a while he said, well, Jeffrey Epstein, he didn't kill himself, he killed himself, blah, 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 suicide, and although he was saying it wasn't, and a man who was in that actually, I might even have the clip here, actually, come to that. A man who was in the same jail cell as Jeffrey Epstein was saying that it was impossible for him to hang himself in there. There's nothing. Is it this one? It's nothing.
You were in the same prison as Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes.
What do you think happened?
Jeffrey Epstein would have to be a magician to try to hang himself in that cell. I was in that cell. There's no way there's nothing on the ceiling. The bedpost is this high. I couldn't even go to a restroom without them walking back and forth and having me on camera. You know, there's no way he committed suicide.
So you reckon he was killed?
Yeah,
Why?
I believe that. I mean, look, there's no doubt there was powerful people involved with him, 100%. These people have a way of covering things up.
Is it true that your dad was in a relationship with Marilyn Monroe and that...
I know he's a criminal himself, but, you have to ask, is there some element of truth in that? And I wouldn't be surprised. We're talking about bloody prison, They're not going to have convenient skyhooks, are they? Oh, look, there's a skyhook. I can hang myself on that. That I can. Yeah, go get a bed sheet. Oh, for Christ's sake. It's bollocks, isn't it? It's got to be. There's no way he broke his neck doing it the way they said he did. There's not enough height. Maybe he wiggled a bit. Jumped up and down on his neck, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe somebody hung on his feet. Oh, okay, well, then that's kind of murder, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, well, Chris Tucker Carlson. He's horrendous. He's absolutely horrendous. But like all those people, they all seem to be doing like an about turn, aren't they? It's like they're looking to the future and think, what can I do that kind of protects my ass but don't step over the line too far? Do you know what I mean? That's what it feels like to me. And there's loads of them at it. Various people in the so-called manosphere. Damage limitation to try and maintain their base. They all need skinning, these people. Oh, coffee time. Got my machine. I could have a coffee, actually. Oh, she stole my cup again. Oh, blimey. What is she like? Oh, cheers, buddy. Nice one. Thanks, my friend. 88B23. Just like it. Hello, Billy. And elbows up. Don't forget the old elbows up. Oh, I see that twice. Thank you. Oh, it's funny. He certainly wasn't athletic enough to swan dive. Oh, Debbie. Don't get me wrong. I don't care if that man is dead, all right? I really don't, because in the day, he's an evil bastard, Jeffrey Epstein is. But we do want to know how he died and who's implicated. Did somebody pay for this to be done? Because that feels very suspicious, doesn't it? And who was the figure in the hoodie? Who's in the hoodie? There we go. Oh, cheers, good citizen. Keep speaking the truth. We got her, ain't you? At the end of the day, we all make mistakes, but we have to speak the truth. Because if you speak the truth, shame the devil. If we don't, what else we got, really? If you don't speak the truth, what else you got? You certainly haven't got your sincerity, have you? If you don't speak what you believe in, you're just following trends and stuff like that, or telling people what you think they want to hear. What have you got? You got nothing, have you? You're not true to yourself, are you? And anybody who knows me will know I'm a little bit. Sometimes I'm too much. Right? I know that, and sometimes I go too far. I know that, But just be speaking out, I blurt. Hoodies are not allowed in cell blocks. I can imagine. I don't think that guy's inside anymore. I think he's a free man. On the video, there was someone in a hoodie. Just watched. Oh, thank you. Cheers. Let me come. Okay, where was I on that? No.
What the hell is this?
Go away, Carlson. We don't like you. We do not like Jeff. I keep calling Jeffrey Carlson. Tucker Carlson. Now, this I found quite funny because he's another one I follow, and he said something about Melania. Apparently, Donald Trump said that Melania, she sounds a bit more, how to put it, normal, if it makes any sense. Can you imagine sleeping with Donald Trump? Oh my giddy aunt. I don't think about it. Don't do it, Marcus.
Trump is sending 17 Patriot missile systems to Ukraine in a huge
That
reversal
is.
for a move that'll help Ukraine stop Russia from terrorizing civilians with ballistic missiles. Trump's also reportedly going to send offensive weapons to Ukraine, such as cruise missiles that can hit Moscow and carry massive warheads. And that, as you had Trump giving Putin a 50-day deadline to stop the war, saying he's going to hit him with tariffs. Though
That's
the
true,
US and
yeah.
Russia really don't do trade anymore, so that seems kind of like an empty threat to many experts. But Trump, he says that America makes the best equipment and missiles and the best of everything, so that's why he's sending them to Ukraine. But you know what? Talking about net impact, this
Also the
is ruled
hottest.
by the president. And here I will focus on the good and not talk about just how long it appears to have taken your head to get out of your ass, because I'm happy that we agree on something. Also, shockingly or interestingly, Melania Trump may be Ukraine's strongest soldier.
First times I'd get home, I'd say, First Lady, I had the most wonderful talk with Vladimir. I think we're finished. And then I'll turn on the television, or she'll say to me one time, wow, that's strange because they just bombed a nursing home. I said, what?
Yeah, follow to stay in the loop. Trump is sending 17...
Dr. G explains Epstein's final hours, reviewing the CCTV. Oh. Also, there's a female prison officer looking shifty. That is. Melatonin. I've heard that one before. Oh, thanks for that. Cats, can I give? Oh, blimey. So where was I? I got distracted, didn't I? I'm always getting distracted. I find it hard these days to stay focused to that, But, with all these tariffs and everything that's going on, bombing in Ukraine and bombing in Gaza, poor little kiddies and stuff, and genocide, and Netanyahu's a war criminal. It's just so much going on. And then there's that orange buffoon. And all his Trumpopaths. But anyways, that's what I put 30% tariffs on. The European Union. And now they're worried that it's going to affect the French wine and cheese makers. What cheese do you make in the US? Actually, Canada as well. What cheese do Canadians make? And is it good? Because the only cheese I kind of can think of in the United States is that weird kind of burger stuff. Like cheese slices. Like fondant cheese, yucky. It's not real cheese, is it? The one you want all your cheese coming away from France. And then there's the wine, What are you going to do about the wine? You got to put your Californian wines and stuff, I don't like Californian wines, to be honest. I find them a bit sickly. I like my French wines. If we're going to have a wine, it's got to be French wine. After all, actually, Spanish wines are quite nice as well, to be fair. But you're hard put to find wines from other countries here in France. Most of the supermarkets only sell French wines. I don't know why that is. Maybe there's a rule. Maybe there's an unwritten rule about French wines. So French cheeses and wine producers have warned of the damaging impact that the US, President Donald Trump's threatened 30% tariffs on imports from the EU. And as you know, you pay the tariffs, not us. But what it does do, obviously, it reduces the amount of stuff sold. Also, small importers, they say, oh, we won't import, because it's just too expensive. So 30% duty for would be disastrous for France's food industry, said Jean-Francois Louzeau, president of the food lobby group Anya. While Francois Xavier, who are oh crikey, you don't pronounce the H, do you? Crikey. Oh, just Francois. Have to do. CEO of the Dairy Association said that the real shock for milk and cheese producers, this is an important market for us. Do they not understand that they're not the ones that are actually paying these tariffs? It's the people paying the tariffs. Do they actually think that they're paying the tariffs? Because they're not. The importer is. But they will reduce the amount sold, obviously, because people buy in price. Now, France's dairy sector exports nearly half of its production, including to the United States, which imports most cheeses such as brie, but also fresh products like yogurt and butter. It's a bit odd, though, isn't it, really? Because you have got a massive dairy industry in the United States and also in Canada and what have you. It's a massive dairy industry. So you don't need to import this stuff. I imagine some of it will be from Ireland, not just because they produce a lot of butter. French food exporters are worried that additional export taxes, import taxes would push up prices of their products beyond the reach of inflation-strapped shoppers. Yes, that's what they're worried about. They're worried about the prices going up and reducing demand. That makes sense. Products like wine, especially, are consumed for pleasure, and if you have less money to spend, well, then you don't make the purchase. Or in some cases, people will put alcohol before everything because they want to drown their sorrows. You've got to drown your sorrows, We'll be less competitive. Oh, there is that to it as well. They'll be less competitive with the US, like Californian wines, etc. Noting that the weaker dollar had already put a lot of pressure on exports to the United States. Yeah, because they can't buy as much for the same amount of money. So the European Union has said that on Sunday it prefers a negotiated solution on trade with the United States. The problem is there is no negotiation. It's just a facade of a negotiation. He just goes back on it every bloody time. There's trade deals already. It's like, for instance, South Korea. There's already a trade deal between the United States and South Korea where no taxes are paid. Yeah, Donald Trump has got to think they'll charge them, 30, 50% taxes if the tariffs remain. Yet there is no tariffs because there's a trade deal that says it's tariff-free. This is just, that's what I'm saying. It's just pointless negotiating anything with that man because none of it makes any bloody sense. It's daft. And the broken corridor CCTV, well, they said it was like off for 1 minute every day. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Everyone would get to know when that period was, and then it'd be an oddle, but times do a bit of chafing, stabbing people. I don't know whatever they're going to do in there. Thanks for that, Joe. Apparently, according to the European Union, there's no more negotiations under threats. Now it's the time to reciprocate. Where they're talking about reciprocation, aren't they? On the 1st of August, is it? Reciprocal tariffs. The only thing is about reciprocal tariffs, you're hurting your own people, aren't you? As well, so. We import all kinds of cheese from around the world, and we love cheeses in Canada and wine, and we do like cheese curds from Wisconsin. So all kinds of cheese from around the world. Do you make cheese in Canada? You must make cheese in Canada, surely. Oh my God. So he's put a 17% tariff on Mexican tomatoes. He's getting this taco salsa revenge. What about chilies then? Chilies as well? What onions? You got as onions in salsa? Well, it depends on your salsa, really, doesn't it? Trade wars can be easy. Wait them out or wait them out. Is it wait or wait? I think it's wait. I'll wait them out, thank you. And trade with. It's a shame you can't edit your things. You can't edit them, can you? And trade with everyone else except dictatorships. Yeah, pretty much. The only people that have been really hurt in all this is literally the people in the United States. They're the ones having to suffer it. You're going to have less product at higher prices. It makes no sense, but they all believe what Trump told them about the tariffs. That they're going to pay the tariffs. You don't pay the tariffs; they'll pay the tariffs. Oh, I see. Cheers for that. Hello, gingers. Hope you well. We even make our own cheese curds. 21 billion where it hurts. Yeah, I saw that to the United States in an estimated loss to the United States economy in around 100 billion, and progressive removal of tech and car companies of the US from the EU market. So what do we have here? We have Jeep. They're here, aren't they? And what's the other one? Chrysler. Is it Chrysler? Yeah. Oh no! So, Artemis is Ginger's dog. She was sick this morning, but it seems okay now. I hope Artemis is going to be fine. It's horrible when dogs are ill. They can't tell you, can they? They can't tell you what the problem is. Thanks, Gingers. Microsoft is the only company in direct negotiation with the European Union and different EU countries. That's because they're a little bit more, how to put it, legit, as an actual business. And even Apple, they don't want fines. It looks like, I'll find this for you actually, because Elon Musk there's a criminal case in France against Elon Musk. I don't know if it's might be here. Might be there. It's not there. Not there. So, which is it could amount to quite a lot of money in fines. 6% of global turnover, for instance. That is a huge amount of money. No, let's just search it. There we go. Elon Musk, France. Wellen Musk. What did he Wellen? News. Yes, France launches a criminal investigation against X. Musk's algorithm is in the crosshairs. This was just 2 days ago. The shadow of Elon Musk was after his Nazi grog, Mecha grog or Mecha Hitler. That's a Mecha Hitler. That's right. Isn't it? So thanks. The shadow of Elon Musk looms once again over Europe, and Paris prosecutor's office has opened a criminal investigation targeting the X platform, suspected of algorithmic manipulation for the purpose of foreign interference. That I would not be the slightest bit surprised. This case is at the crossroads of cybercrime, European justice, and geopolitical tensions, and it could mark a new escalation in the trade war between the United States and the European Union. The French prosecutor's office opens a criminal investigation against X for alleged algorithmic manipulation and fraudulent data extraction. Yes, your data. They're all stealing your data all the while, aren't they? Stealing it. If they want my fucking data, they can pay for it. The investigation follows 2 reports filed on January the 12th, including one of the MP Eric Beaufarel, and cybercrime unit J3 is leading the investigation. The same unit that arrested Pavel Durov last year. Now he's the geezer who owns Telegram. Well, they let him go. He's supposed to come back again though. He's got court dates coming up. So the Paris prosecutor's office has officially opened a criminal investigation. I'm very tired today. Keep yawning. Maybe because I keep going to bed late. So yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be. I'd like to see Elon Musk. I'd like to see him behind bars, really, like all good little Nazis. Oh, I bought Canadian cheddar in the United Kingdom. I didn't know you could get Canadian cheddar. America's sycamore is 6 months, and the sheriff's. Well, I'm confused. Just found out that Congress voted on the release of the Epstein files last night, and it got voted. Oh fuck! Who voted against it? I mentioned this yesterday in a live stream about the Republicans. Because I knew that there's going to be a oh crikey, who was it again? There was 2 people come forward wanting submitting this to the House regarding Congress, to vote on that. Why would you vote against it or block it? That looks bad. MAGA's going to be fuming. That's my evil laugh, by the way. Oh, I say only 1 Republican voted for it, I think. Only 1. So the whole lot of them. This is going to... MAGA are going to... If they don't lose their top over this, they're just a bunch of hypocrites. The DOJ is up to some fishy business with Ghislaine's appeal to the Supreme Court. Yes. And Alan Dershowitz is looking to... Well, he feels like she was a scapegoat. Was she the fucking scapegoat? She was there. She was there doing her thing. She was the chief recruiter of young... I was trying to call it Totty or something, I don't know. They've always been hypocrites. But the thing is, this MAGA lot, they are so... Are they going to die on this hill? 1,000 victims. Imagine, no evidence. The thing is also, element 84, so there's 1,000 victims. There's over 50 odd that came forward. They're absolute idiotic hypocrites, full stop. You ain't kidding, because that's just not, that is not going to end well for them. I can't imagine it, now, Steve Bannon did a speech yesterday. Was it the day before? Anyway, he was warning that if these Epstein files are not released, and I'm no lover of Steve Bannon, he obviously, because he's a fucking arsehole, even Steve Bannon was saying that if they're not released, you can end up losing 10% of your MAGA base. That's what he said. And that means you'd lose the presidency, you'd lose... you'd have nothing. You wouldn't have the House, you wouldn't have anything. Good. So maybe this is a good thing that they didn't. That is if they get a vote. Of which I have my doubts. How the hell holding Ghislaine Maxwell if there's no evidence? Oh, there's no list. Oh, that's the new marker. Oh, I see, Billy. Make a boost. Great again. Grab him by the pussy. That's what Trump would say, isn't it? You know. You'd think that'd be enough after hearing what he said on that bus. You'd think that'd be enough, but no, they loved him for it. Creepy people. There are public releases for some cases, and he is named and a co-defendant in victim statements. Interesting. Yes, he's distracting at the moment. You think what he's doing? All of a sudden, Ukraine's going to get his missiles and stuff. Everything's a distraction. Everything is that next dead cat. You know, look over there, not over here. I know this guy says Reagan. Oh, my friend. I hope you're well. It is a litmus test. That's a good point. It is a litmus test. This vote is a litmus test, and it's going to be a litmus test to see. Well, we obviously know where they stand. I didn't know that. Regan's saying here, apparently they photoshopped Trump out on Chelsea's, Chelsea's club photo. Brilliant. I didn't know that. He wasn't supposed to be there. He was supposed to go off with Gianni, you know. Did you hear that that Trump has stole the trophy? He's keeping it in the Oval Office. They're getting a fake one. He's the worst. He is the worst. So everything about him is inappropriate. I didn't know I could hate this much, or hate at all. It's been quite an experience and not a pleasant one, says Patty Chris. Yes, I know what you think and how you feel about that, because I'm not really a hatey type person. I try and find fun in everything, but it's quite difficult, isn't it? You know, it's things. If you didn't laugh, you'd cry, wouldn't you? I'm just in shock, really, that we are in this place where truth doesn't seem to matter anymore. It's all about lies and deception, and we had our fair share of it with the Brexit that we did, you know, and Boris Johnson, you know, all small scumbags. Orange doesn't go good with the Chelsea team colours. That's right. Yeah, I agree with Patty as well on that one. That's very true. Mirror 84 says here that I have never been so disappointed in humanity or churches. Well, I'm an atheist. I love the buildings. I think the buildings are fantastic. It's the level of skill involved to create these things. Fantastic. But as far as the church is concerned, it's not my thing. And there's so much child abuse, especially young boys and what have you, that seem to radiate, towards churches. Some of these people are just horrendous. I don't want to obviously label everybody in the same brush because it's not the case, is it? Some people are, who might be church-going type people, are sincere. They do it for the right reasons and stuff, and they believe in it and what have you, and that's their thing, I haven't got a problem with that. That's, as long as they're not hurting other people and hopefully do good for other people, help other people. It's really what it's supposed to be about, isn't it? But no, there's just so many people out there will use the church to get what they want, whether it be greed, power, whatever it is, or little boys. It's disgusting. Hello, Jack. I hope you're having a great day too. Have you heard? Donald Trump stole the trophy. It's in the fucking Oval Office. There's so many signs. There's so many signs that get ignored. So many, if that's what you mean. There is. There's so many signs that get ignored. There's so many things going on around us and we turn a blind eye to. And also, there's things that we don't even see. Now, I mentioned this before. I used to help out Sea Scouts, which, canoeing and stuff like that. And I didn't realise a guy who was one of the leaders down there, a guy called Julian, he was a paedophile. He was a paedophile. And he had a caravan there. I didn't even know it was there, at the back. And he used to invite boys there from, these people, they put themselves in places where it's easy to find their next victim. But anyway, he got convicted and he ended up in jail. I just find, and we didn't know. It almost makes you feel a little bit guilty yourself. Do you know what I mean? Because, why didn't we know? Why didn't we notice something strange going on? All we saw was that he was a very helpful guy, and as far as the Sea Scouts was concerned, he was doing everything you'd expect him to do. But there again, we didn't know he was doing a lot darn sight more. I'm curious to know what the players were saying to Trump's face. You fucking moron! You orange buffoon! Is your name Cheeto Bandito by any chance? Tangerine fucked up. Can I have another, sir? Had to cut some grass while it's still cool, but glad I've caught the stream still on. Yeah, cheers, buddy. Yeah, well, I've got to cut some grass at some point. It's all spindly at the moment. It's just full of weeds. Just like, it's only a field, so I need to cut around all the trees. If you didn't know, we're doing a rewilding here, and I have to keep the grass down around the trees. Obviously, it takes over. To make sure the trees get the best chance that they can get. So we've planted quite a few so far. I can't remember exactly how many, but it's way over 600 now. But it's a little bit of 1,000, 1,500 trees. So we've just got 2 hectares of land that we're putting to trees, and little bat boxes and hedgehog houses and stuff like that. Animal habitats. There's links down below if you want to know more about it. But it's a nice project. Down we come. Love you, Chelsea boys. They don't understand the simplest concepts like human rights or due process, let alone the fact that they are a mid-depression economy. That's because they've been lied to and they're believing it. Donald Trump is saying everything's fantastic. And they believe that. Because they don't go to the source. You need to go to the horse's mouth. You need to go to the source where the data is. Follow the data. Follow the data, and you can't really go that wrong. They might be wrong, but you can only report on what you've been told by the data, not by some buffoon in the White House. Because their figures are all over the bloody place. When they were saying that there was a job gain, there was actually a job loss that month. They said 140,000 new jobs in the month of May or June or whatever it was, and then when they come down to it, there's actually a loss of about 90,000 jobs or something like that, yeah. And then they go on about Canada, for instance. It's like, Canada it's got job losses and stuff. No, it hasn't. It's got a job gain of 87,000 in that month. Done better than expected. After all these tariffs and all these problems going on in the United States, and they're still, they're doing well. Canada's doing well. My God, I forget about the time scale, the time difference. Yeah, so the sun's just risen for you, has it? 8B23. Have a nice day at work, my friend. Yeah, have a good one at work. The Antichrist says, I like the tariffs. Why do you like the tariffs? Why do you like the tariffs? What is it about the tariffs that you like? Because I don't see how anybody can benefit from tariffs. Now, the tariffs do bring in money into the exchequer, but that money is literally just being transferred from you to the exchequer. By customers buying the stuff. Because it fixes things. How does it fix things? What does it fix? Mr. Antichrist, I don't understand what it fixes. Don't tell me how tariffs... I've imported shit. I know how tariffs work, okay? You need to study how they work. Know exactly how tariffs work. The importer pays the tariffs. There's a tax. And it gets passed on to the consumer. Sometimes a company might say, okay, we'll lower our cost, our price to you if they can, so we don't end up increasing the cost of the goods and pricing themselves out of the market. There is that possibility. But when you talk about foodstuffs, for instance, those items, there ain't enough market and enough leeway in it to do that. So that ends up pushing the price up. And who's buying the food? The people, everybody. And other products and car industries and the assembly lines in the United States, they all suffer the tariffs. They're not better off. They're worse off. So I'm back. Great, ready for my arrival. Ready for your arrival. Go on. Cheers, Brimstone, Dragon, Pete. I sent you an interesting turn of events on Blue Sky. Let's have a look. Load up. What do you call yourself on there? Here we go. Where do you send it? You just copy me in that. Oh, are you Brimstone? Here you are, Brimstone Pete. Okay, so interesting turn of events. Apparently, chickens came home to roost. What? Let's hold on this.
So, you guys know about the flooding going on in Kerr County, Texas, right?
Uh-huh.
Did you all know that Kerr County, Texas was supposed to be sent $10.2 million from Joe Biden to fund their emergency flooding program?
Oh,
To make sure that in the event that any of this happened, they'd be prepared and people would be
that got
safe.
cancelled, didn't it?
Do you know what they did with that money? They rejected the
They
purpose
sent
of
it
what it was
back.
for and chose to utilize it to raise the salaries of police officers. And to make matters worse, Chad, they recorded themselves disrespecting Joe Biden and mocking him in the money he sent.
They called it the Biden
Little
money.
did they know,
I remember this.
4 years later, little did they know, 4 years later, the chickens would come home to roost. Other left-wing content creators might not be willing to talk about this, might not be willing to be rough and tough where they need to be, but I am. They chose this. They asked for this. I feel bad for the children because kids don't know shit. You know, I saw some crazy person was like, oh, these kids are future fascists. These are children being led by adults who think like this. I'll show you.
We do not want more of Biden's mandates attached to keeping Biden's money.
Biden's money.
These people are communists. They hate America. They're teaching it in our schools. They're invading the border as we speak. I don't think we should take any money from the federal government because they can't be trusted.
Now, we don't need these funds here.
Pot kettle black.
We've done just fine. And we'll get by without them. But you spend this money, you're signing a contract with the devil.
If you vote to keep Biden's money, I will hold you personally responsible and personally liable.
The Biden regime has proven to be tyrannical and anti-American. There is no part of this administration that has the good of America or Americans at heart. We want no part in anything coming down from the federal government. This is Texas, and Texans can take care of Texas.
And I don't believe we should take the money. We should not have it. I don't trust our
How many people have died because of these people?
truthful with us. And in these days and these times or whatever, we can't afford to make a mistake.
This is them openly bragging about misappropriating the funds that Biden sent. Because realize and understand, the money was received, and I'll tell you exactly what they spent it on. A community that overwhelmingly voted for President Donald Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024, Kerr County constructed an economic engine on the allure of the Guadalupe River. Government leaders acknowledged the need for more disaster mitigation, including a $1 million flood warning system that would better alert the public to emergencies to sustain that growth, but they were hamstrung by a small and tight-fisted tax base. In 2021, Kerr County was awarded a $10.2 million windfall from the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, which Congress passed that same year to support local governments impacted by the pandemic. Cities and counties were given flexibility to use the money on a variety of expenses, including those related to storm-related infrastructure. Corpus Christi, for example, allocated $15 million of its ARPA funding to rehabilitate and or replace aging stormwater infrastructure. Waco's McLennan County spent $868,000 on low water crossings. Kerr County did not opt for ARPA to fund flood warning systems despite commissioners discussing such projects nearly 24 times since 2016. In fact, a survey sent to residents about ARPA spending showed that 42% of the 180 responses wanted to reject the $10 million bonus altogether, largely on political grounds. I'm here to ask this court today to send this money back.
These people. Yeah, I was watching some video clips, but the actual what you saw a moment ago, I saw them a couple of days ago. Was it yesterday? I can't remember now. And it's they refer to it as Biden's money. It's federal money. They just didn't want to accept it, and then they did accept it anyway. It appears, but not for the purpose it was allocated for. They're the worst, aren't they? They really are the worst. Yeah, that's Texas for you, most definitely. I swear Texas is one of the worst states in the country, and they need to get rid of Abbott. Yes, we've got on it just. Negligence is hardcore. These people just, and they use, like, oh, the devil. It's all like religious shit again, isn't it, you know? It's a cult, isn't it? Let's be honest. They need jailing for the dereliction of duties and negligence, yes. They never sent it back. They wasted it. They, like you're saying, just end up putting wages up for the police, aren't you? Helping people is tyrannical. And the really sad thing about this is, if that money was spent, there's a possibility that those children might not have lost their lives. Is this a form of manslaughter? If it could be proven that they were negligent? You know, like corporate manslaughter. You know, if you are... I'll tell you what happened. For instance, there was a concrete company that I used to get concrete from in the UK. And somebody actually fell into... these are bloody great hopper mixers. And he actually fell into the mixer and died. There was no handrails. So it ended up in the courts, you know, as a criminal case, and the owner, the director of the company, ended up going to jail for corporate manslaughter. This was in Norwich. This was. It's fucking what these people are doing. All those kids and adults who died, got swept away in the water, haven't been found yet, and those who have been found dead. It could have been prevented. It was. There's a possibility. You can't obviously prove that it is the case 100% at this stage. Maybe you could later, if you know, that these provisions for early warning systems could have saved lives. End of the day, that's what they were designed to do. These people are evil, aren't they? Let's be honest. They are evil. They'd rather see people drown or even burn to death than to allow the opposition any kudos at all. Now, Gavin Newsom, California, he's put a provision, was it? Or a budget. He's put it to Donald Trump asking for money to clean the forest floors. He's having the piss, obviously, but he's like, well, I don't know, get voted on or something, I don't know. But yeah, he's asked for money to clean the forest floors. After all, it was Donald Trump's suggestion, wasn't it? That is a rare occasion. That is very rare for people to be actually held accountable for corporate crimes. Well, it's like in the UK as well. We've got problems regarding water authorities literally extracting monies in the form of shares and what have you, and yet not actually spending the money on infrastructure. There's a massive problem there. We've got certain water companies that are literally going bankrupt, constantly having been bailed out all the while. Yet these people are getting richer. But they don't do the basic requirements. All those who get raises and bonuses should be made to pay back the money and use the funds for the flood victims. I think all those people who got all the bonuses and that should be used as sandbags. Yeah. I think the mindset they get into in those respective states, we are godly, it will never happen to us. There is that too. Thanks, I'll send it over to Brimstone. I am on Blue Sky. I can't remember my handle now. What is my handle? Oh, AllShorts. At AllShorts. At Blue Sky. So, if you want to send me anything over via that or tag me anything, I do check that out quite regular. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to call that it for today. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us, and thanks for booping the old like button and that, and thanks to Gerald for being very kind and moderating the stream. Much appreciated, Joe. You're always there for me. I really, really do appreciate it, my friend. He's a good guy. He's also got his own channel, and it's quite a young channel, but you have to admit he's a clever sod. He's got very broad knowledge. He's got a big brain. All right, he's got a big brain. He's a big guy with a big brain. Oh dear. Anyway, you take care, everybody, and have a lovely day. I'm gonna have to do some work now. Thanks to the super chats and that as well. Toodaloo. I'll be live again later.